Welcome back. You're watching DD India and this is Voice of the Global South. Let's move on to our next story. A wave of vicious weather driven by the phenomena of global warming and climate change is sweeping across South Asia. Its most visible signatures are a retreat of glaciers, rising river water level, and frequent flooding. The latest warning has come from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who visited the area near Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, and said that Nepal's snow-capped mountains have lost close to 1/3 of their ice in over 30 years due to global warming. Take a look at this report.
The world is dealing with geopolitical tensions and climate change, and most developing countries are becoming part of the impact of its damage. Amidst this, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, was on a 4-day visit to Nepal, his first to the country since taking office. The UN chief met Nepalese Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda. The meeting revolved around Nepal's ongoing peace process and other pressing issues of the hour, such as climate change and sustainable development. Nepal's Prime Minister expressed hope to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030 and also hailed the efforts of the UN Secretary General's support on climate change.
The UN Secretary General held talks with me and the Foreign Minister and Defence Minister over several national and international issues. Mainly, we discussed climate change and its adverse effects on Nepal. We laud the efforts of the international community, particularly the United Nations Secretary General, over climate issues.
Guterres visited the Himalayan regions to witness the devastating impact of climate change. He urged that Nepal and other developing countries in the global south need far greater international support to aid development, accelerate climate change action, and weather.
I'm here to cry out from the rooftop of the world, stop the madness. The glaciers are retreating, but we cannot. We must end the fossil fuel age. We must act now to protect people on the front line and to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees to avert the worst of climate chaos. The world cannot wait.
Guterres highlighted that Nepal is now one of the countries that is suffering the most, but other South Asian countries might become, in the future, victims of the receding glaciers of Nepal. On his visit, Antonio Guterres addressed a joint meeting of the Federal Parliament.
Nepal and other developing countries need far greater international support to aid development, accelerate climate action, and weather the current global storms. I have proposed a Sustainable Development Goals stimulus that would release at least $500 billion a year in affordable long-term finance for sustainable development and climate action in developing countries like Nepal.
Climate scientists say the Earth's temperature has increased by an average of 0.74 degrees Celsius over the past 100 years, but warming across South Asia's Himalayas has been greater than global averages.